Hello, Capricorn, to your timeless, love variant reading, where we cover whatever wants to cover, whether it's karmic, divine, single, parent, I don't know, I guess parent, partnered up, divorced, married, whatever. Alright, just remember that if you're here because you're Capricorn in Sun rising and or Jupiter, this reading will provide more universal justice. If you're here because your Capricorn is in Moon, Mercury, and or even Venus, you may benefit from my sister channel, which the link can be found in the description box below, and some other services, for I am a master healer, and should you inquire about any, I look forward into connecting with you further. Alright, Capricorn. There's a lot of anger. Alright, lots of anger. You're angry in a way that you can't even express. You're angry in a way that even talking about it would get you angry. Just remember that past, present, and future energetical timelines could always come forth within a reading, Capricorn, so take all that belongs to you using your discernment, and as you leave the reading behind, try to leave behind everything that doesn't belong to your narrative as well. You don't have to convince me that you're angry. You don't have to convince yourself that you also aren't angry. Some of you have a hard time with that. Some of you are designed by diminishing how angry you are. And just like, yeah, it has a reason, there's 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 a reason. Because this, and that. You can't just be quiet. Because if somebody were to tell you just be quiet for a moment, Capricorn, you might be angry because of that. You don't really like being told what to do. But at the same time, you're vulnerable enough to want to be, quote unquote, manhandled. You like pain. You like rough sex. You like to have explored maybe at one time drugs. And to have dealt with drug issues. And maybe sexual addictions as well. Silver. This is like someone's poison here. Silver, being drawn to vampires. People that drain your energy, but you have no idea what it means for your energy to be drained. Because you're angry all the time. You're in a frequency that has no idea how to recuperate on its own. It just knows all the beautiful things that come from it because, oh, look at that beautiful thing over there. But your anger is keeping you in a frequency of color red. Red is red. And the moment it doesn't have any more light, it's black. Okay. It's not a very funny situation, but it's a situation that someone on a mature stance is putting themselves in. And I, as a reader, am not liking this stance because it's almost as if you want to be called out for the shit that you do. But anyone calling you out for the shit that you do is wasting their own energy. So you're wasting energy and space requiring that. If you were to be requiring that. Because again, as the story goes here, there's someone here that has entered your life and gave you a silver lining of some kind. But Capricorn energy is the one that severed it. Anyway, Autumn. Hearing that you're at fault is not easy for you. Hearing that you're angry is not easy for you. You have your reasons as to why you're angry. They're all justifiable reasons here. These are all Harry Potter's little golden ball here, flying in the nest of how fast you got to capture them, for that's how real it is, and how powerful they are for being legitimate reasons and tangible subjects as to why you have reasons to be angry. No one's saying that. But can you even recognize shit about yourself? Is the question. Like, you're looking for a very strong partner. You need a very strong partner. Some of you think that age signifies having a strong partner, which is weird. And then you get disappointed when you realize age doesn't mean anything about the intellect. So some of you are humbled in that lesson, or becoming humbled in that lesson, more or less. Some of you dance with etherical powers, meaning you want to read tarot, listen to tarot, have tarot decks, have all this idea of energy flowing around in your environmental space. But when it comes to actually interacting with people, it's not of karmic divinity. And karmic divinity meaning that you understand the intention of a possibility of damnation, but you aren't shying away from that. You actually stand in the middle and proud on it because you're just a thing trying to learn. If you're a thing trying to learn, then how could the ether be angry with you? But if you're a manipulative person trying to manipulate the situation and manipulate the positives to work more in your favor and bring in balance to everything else, then you're the chaos. Chaos that doesn't know yet how discipline is coming into your life in small little crevices to bring balance into your life. And you're gonna be humbled. The Smiths, the overthinking, taking action. I feel like that's like a tower card in and of itself, like either coming in and taking action, smithing you up, the individual. All right, you like smithing you up to become an energetical someone, and to take your experience outside of your human body, and see yourself as a responsibility. And as also having to meet certain expectation as being like a emblem from ether, the adventurer. Some of you claim to be adventurers, having a lot to do with nature, understand its tongue. And when it comes to having an emotional relationship with ether, you don't have one. You claim you do, but you don't. Some of you claim to have interest of Reiki practitioner. As you may hear in all of my readings, I'm also a master healer. In order to have become that, I did work with a master healer of 13th generation, and I found myself also being angry at the discoveries of being attuned in that level, and then being grounded in still in the unfair justices or ideologies that take place in time of space of wherever the fuck you are on this earthly plane. Anyway, all of that to say that there is an existence outside of everything that is weaving all of this to make sense. And we're the little minions trying to make sense of it all happening at the same time as space of nothing. While we're trying to transition and rediscover and transition more and rediscover. And some of you dabble with Reiki energy, but aren't seeing things from my perspective, not holding you accountable from that. Not asking you to see it from that personal perspective, but seeing it from perspective of I, as a master healer that I am with my teachings, understand that whatever I've weaved into my own convictions of groundedness, understand what the blasphemous karmic energy is around Reiki itself, and the dialogue, how it's a hoax, how it's not real, how it's a placebo. I can accept all that. I can accept the damnation as to why there's certain dialogues out there as to that bring this harmony and chaos to not believing Reiki. I can accept that. And what I heal and how I heal isn't of Reiki energy should be accepted too, at least in the form that if you're going to be in the practice of it, you have your own understanding. And that's what ether is trying to teach you. To have an understanding, Capricorn, yourself, of the things that you put time and attention to. But if there are other people who chime in to your adventure of the mind that could bring some sort of harmony or more wisdom or more, I can do a little bit better than you, Capricorn, allow it to fucking happen, because they can help you. But some of you don't want that shit to happen, or pretending that you want to help, or surrounded by false friends, because you're just sucking them dry. You're the vampire in the situation, sucking them dry. While also being this ironic wannabe of a healer. I mean, it's reason enough to be mad at that shit. I get it. People disappoint all the time, you know, and it's the past that has a lot to do with the fact that we hold people accountable to our anger, or just time and space expectation. You know, almost saw the Tower card come out. Ugh. It might as well be the fucking Tower card. I can't stand this card. Seven of Swords energy. On this channel, I'm definitely much more expressive with the second energy. I like how cunning. I can't stand this fucking card. Seven of Swords. It's made it very fucking personal. I'd rather see the Tower card and be like, all right, I'll anticipate the mystery, the feeling and knowing and not knowing exactly what it looks like. And then when I'm not so shocked, but it can be shocked because damn, it hurts. That's kind of like a Tower card, right? The Seven of Swords is like you have no idea that you're being hurt right now. You have no idea that there's someone deceiving this energy, or that you are doing possibly something to set yourself up from being deceived. Like, where is it? The eyes become narrower, more focused, trying to figure out the kinks, the problem as to why the hose is no longer gushing its water. You know, it's like, what's lying in between my truth here with the Ace of Swords? And bringing some sort of reasoning allows you to get a better consensus to who you and how you are as you operate as an individual. And if there's anything deceptive about you, then that's why deceptive energy happens, or why you anchor the possibility of somebody else holding that deceptive key over your own shadow, because you are deceptive. Meanwhile, the people are living their life not thinking one lick of their existence, of their timeline about you. But you're giving all this attention to them. You're the person looking over your shoulders, not knowing how to trust. Other people are walking in the other direction, becoming successful, and you're just envious of the successes that you're getting, instead of learning from them in a different way. You're learning and wanting to take, instead of learning in order to grow. Death energy. Like I said, you're learning to take instead of it for it to grow. So the relationships break. There's always an end to things. You can't hold on to things for a very long time. Connections, people's perspective, ideologies, or I don't know, material things, a home. There's things that you can't hold on to for a very long time, and it's the ongoing pattern you keep have over and over and over again. Or the muck. And why is it? Because you're trying to convince a fairy tale to need to exist, instead of just having your life be a form of the expression of whatever the fairy tale wants to be. It's strange. Some of you came across a healer and decided to look the other way, and disrespecting that in any way is kind of like, it's just a blow to the ether. But this isn't about like your everyday Joe Schmo healer here. This isn't about like, I don't even want to. I get it. I don't even want to. I don't want to. I'm not even going to entertain that. I say that these love variant readings are karmic, but at the same time, like, I'm not entertained by this shit. Yeah, give me something that makes sense. Don't give me shit that makes table keeps turning and spinning over and over again about the same fucking subject. Like, let me look at the situation from a different angle that adds stability and structure and out of whatever this mess is, right? Essentially, you want that. You want to focus on something to get you out of this pattern that you see occurring over and over and over again in your life, or at least covering various different topics in your life, and it's driving someone crazy. But it's taking a turn, and that turn is making you focus on a better narrative. Yeah, a better narrative that's derived from your conscientious appeal. All right, you don't want to be the one to essentially hurt people. You don't want to be deceptive. You don't want to be the ruiner. You are more or less also probably a victim of being very insulted by this reading, because you feel that all the injustices have been done onto you and made you feel that victory wasn't given onto you in regards to love, and that you feel you've been robbed from this equation, and that you don't want to look at the situation or the problem from you being the problem. Again, I see it. I can accept it for what it is that you're trying to maybe make sense of that, but it won't make sense because of karmic behavior, and that karmic behavior is up for the high priestess to show you or not, of your own accord, not me. The high priestess dances in the power as to why things work for you or don't work for you emotionally. The strength card being here, asking you to take a stance in knowing how painful this process is. And however you are coming in or out of the input of the process is a process that defines what you can handle and what you desire. Because the Lord knows as a Capricorn what they desire, and they probably will have a better understanding as to how they can manifest the things internally, externally, to make it make sense, because the desire feels so fucking good. And when you understand desire comes to the same color pattern of red, you'll understand that it's all about the perspective. So Hangman is here, teaching us perspective, teaching us to master ourselves in the darkness that we claim, the shadow aspect here with the Tower card, and drawing better solutions for yourself, better reasoning, and better attitude adjustment. Let's put it that way. All right, an attitude adjustment, because an attitude adjustment is needed, and that's the only way you can really use those words to get the internal part of you, Capricorn, to dance a little bit differently. Because besides that, it's the surface level is very egotistic right now, not taking in a lot of information, because you think you hold on to something that just makes sense, but you just don't see it in other people, and it's not true. There's been at least one person in your cross paths in the last 3 years that gave you an example of how beautiful the quote-unquote other side can be. Because the other person knows everything about that other side, while also knowing about the darkness. Control, Four of Pentacles, Guidance, the Hierophant, and Inspiration, the Star. I mean, it's your little secret that the ethereal energies around you, the ones that you feel like you can't really talk to many people about, it dances in your favor. It does, always has. Even if it meant at the cost of you learning a very deep emotional lesson. You know things, you see things, you feel things. And maybe you've had a tarot deck in your hand, so it brought to life those inner feelings, those inner turmoils, and the inner imagination has identity. So it makes you feel like you have a level of control of one thing. But it's one thing to dance with knowing that it exists, and another thing to be a master of what it is that you want to dance with, or at least the thing that made you dance so well, or at least the thing that made you want to dance. All right, whatever that is. It's a source of inspiration. It's a source of returning back into yourself and fixing the things that even if others have broken that about you, that you can do the fixing on your own and don't need anyone else to bring closure or to change a very hard perspective that would force you to maybe never be able to talk about something again, because finally you've told your story and then it's over. And maybe that's the point to get to. Tell your story from beginning to end, get everything out. So that way you've told your story. And so the next time a situation comes, you don't feel that you need to be validated and needing to be heard. All right, that is all that I have for you at this time, Capricorn. Feel free to check out the description box below to see whether or not you'd like any of my services. I'm looking forward to making connections with you. May you keep flowing, growing, and glowing wherever you are in this ether of time and space. Take care.